And then there were four. Tonight we play for all the marbles live from Phoenix Raceway. It's the Rowdy Energy Cup Championship round. Tony Trapasso up in the booth with you tonight, joined with you by my partner in crime, the man, the myth, the living legend, Mr. Cliff Corvo, on the cameras tonight. And Cliff, I don't know about you, but I'm excited for this one.
This is it. Last chance. 4 drivers enter tonight. Only one will leave here a champion, Tony.
Absolutely. We could call tonight Thunderdome if we wanted to, considering it is in the desert. J.D. Woodward, Brandon Lowe's, Greg Marconi, Jovan Cherry. Those are the 4 drivers that have everything to win and everything to lose tonight. 9 drivers total in the field currently so far. And if you take a look at timing and scoring currently, who's at the top of the pile? J.D. Woodward, Brandon Lowe's, Greg Marconi, and Jovan Cherry. These guys have put in work all week long to make sure they are prepared as they can be coming into tonight's final round. They don't have to win the race to win the championship. They just have to finish in front of the other 3 chase contenders.
Yeah, very true. But looking at timing, like we were looking at earlier, you got your top 4 in the championship on top of the scoreboard right now. That tells me these guys are going to come out here and give it everything they've got. They're out here not only to win a championship, but I think it's going to come down to the race winner winning the championship.
That's what we've seen in the real world a ton of times. And if you take a look at what these guys have done since they've gotten into this session, there's not a single chase contender that has put in less than 50 laps. So, these guys are getting that last minute feel for what the car is doing, what it can do, what they need it to do, and where they need to put it on the track to be most effective tonight. Now, the biggest thing that we're going to need to look out for and what these guys are going to have to keep in mind as this race wears on, and we've seen it every time we have come to Phoenix, what is now turn 2, if you are battling with someone and you try to come off of what is now turn 2 going down the hallway, which used to be the front straightaway, it's now the backstretch. If you try to exit too low to get a run down the hallway to get to somebody's inside going into turn 3, or what is now turn 3, formerly turn 1, trust me, that's going to get confusing for me too. But if you try to exit low, you're going to have problems. That's something that we have seen every time we have come to Phoenix. Guys trying to push the issue, battling with someone, and the car will try to step out on you. Quick look at the weather here tonight for the greater Phoenix Metroplex. Relatively cool. At least this is feeling like, hoodie and light jacket weather if you're from the area. 78 degree ambient air temperature, 80 degree track temperature right now. Only 2 mile an hour wind. So, this is going to be the best conditions that we've probably ever seen going into Phoenix. They've got a total of 6 sets of tires, 100% fuel fill, 1 fast repair. And that has saved some lives recently, as you and I can both attest to. And it looks like hot laps coming to an end, qualifying getting ready to fire on off here. And it looks like we now have 10 cars in the session. Our friend from down under, Shane Newen's a little bit late to the party, but he is here. And Shane has usually done well when he has come here. But looks like Ryan Decker going to be the first one to roll it in that Lot 9 Brewing number 28. Giving a nod to his teammate Connor Tafari, who is not here tonight. Connor got eliminated last week, and looking to see Connor come back sometime soon. But right now, Ryan out on track. Nick Wing starting to roll it as well. Ryan taking the green right now on his first flyer, and you can see that we do have the open dog leg tonight, which it's a double-edged sword. You can gain a little bit of position going down there, but you kind of sacrifice your entry going into what is now turn number 1 because you're on the low side, and that's not really where you want to be going through that set of corners. First lap for Decker, 27.497. It's going to put him provisional P1. And you can see Decker already using that racing line, staying on the darker surface going through 1 and 2, and getting a good line there. A little bit high going through 3 and 4, flirting with disaster coming off of 4, and not going to improve on his second lap. Nick Wing goes 27.6 on his first qualifying lap. And the only other person we are waiting for right now looks like JD Woodward waiting to roll it. And his Wing not able to improve on his. Actually, I take that back. Wing does improve on his second lap. Goes 27.52. So just waiting to see who's going to be the next one. It looks like Greg Marconi, the 12, going to be the next one to roll it, driving the Midwest Motor Customs livery tonight. As Marconi brings it out of 3 and 4 to start his first flyer. Nice tidy line through the dog leg for Marconi, not really upsetting the car too much, able to get back up where he needs to be. And, you can tell the guys that have put in the work. They know that if they try to pinch it down towards that yellow line going through 1 and 2, all it's going to do is just, hemorrhage speed for them because you're stalling the car out trying to keep it low. So good run for Marconi so far. First lap, right to the top of the pile, 27.35 flat. So Marconi making a statement here early as we have JD Woodward and Brandon Lowe's starting to both roll it there. Second lap for Marconi. Coming out of 3 and 4 now. Improves 27.218, so Marconi does improve as JD Woodward already on the timer, sliding it through 1 and 2. This is going to be a throwaway lap, just going to have to collect his thoughts about him. Looks like he is going to throw away the first lap, so it's going to be one and done for JD Woodward when he does take the green. As Lowe's coming through 3 and 4 to put lap 1 of his in the books. Flirting with disaster off of 4, almost getting into the wall. 27 flat. Good grief. Brandon Lowe's leaves some on the table for the rest of the children.
I thought Marconi set that bar kind of high, but Brandon Lowe's just came and knocked it over.
Absolutely. As looks like Javon Cherry had trouble on his first flyer as well. As Woodward on his one and only flyer right now, coming down the hallway. Nice tidy line this time through 1 and 2. Full head of steam going into 3. Dives it down to that yellow line, trying to get the best run. See what type of time Woodward can put up here. Good enough for third quick. And that is going to do it for qualifying. Javon Cherry not able to get one in. So, quick rundown of our, and we now have 11 cars in the session. Zishan Dura joining the fray here tonight. So, starting up on the point, your first 3 positions are taken up by 3 of your championship contenders. Brandon Lowe's and Greg Marconi going to be starting in row number 1. JD Woodward going to be starting inside row number 3. He is going to be joined with the 28 of Ryan Decker. Nick Wing and Ernie Ludwig making up inside row number 2. Decker is. Row number 3 goes to Nick Wing and Ernie Ludwig. Ludwig, the last one to post a time, going to be starting 6th. Then based on I-rating, Javon Cherry and Zishan Dura are going to roll off in row number 4. Row 5 brings us Mark Mcfadden and Shane Newlands, with Jason Papp starting shotgun on the field in 11th position. So 11 cars scheduled to roll off here tonight, 160 laps of scheduled distance. 6 total sets of tires to get them through. So tire management is going to be key here tonight, as we have been preaching all season long, but even more so here tonight, because this track can be very aggressive on tire wear.
What a great night for a race, huh? It's, nice and calm. It's not too hot out here in the desert, but we got a whole host of cars and drivers ready for a great show here tonight. And these top 4, Lowe's, McConey, Woodward, and Decker, they're all fighting for this championship. So, some sparks are gonna fly, and fireworks are gonna go off at the end of this one.
Absolutely, as we're just waiting for the 10 of Dura to grid up. Now, he had just gotten into the session as qualifying came to an end. So he is going to be forced to pit starting behind the 8 ball here tonight. But Cliff, this is going to be a fun one. And like we were mentioning before we went live on the air, it's a little bit different feel here at Phoenix. Everybody's used to the way it always used to be. But when they spun the track 180 degrees as far as orientating where the start-finish line is and everything else, it's a weird feeling considering the pace car just ducked off. So you had maybe a quarter of a lap behind the pace car, as now Lowe's is going to have the button as they head down the hallway for the first time tonight. And remember that all restarts are on the green as they head into the Red Cat restart zone. The only thing that's left to do is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's championship time! Green flag comes out. Marconi and Lowe's getting a decent start, still side by side as they come out of the dog leg and haul it off into turn number 3. Lowe's with a little bit better run going in. Marconi going to give him the room early. Don't expect them to play that nicely later on, as right now Brian Decker giving JD Woodward all he can handle on cold tires right now for 3rd.
Lowe's and Marconi gonna go side by side here coming into 1. But 12 will back off. Marconi backs off. We got a long way to go here. He's gonna play it safe at the beginning of this one.
Absolutely, as right now Ryan Decker was flirting with disaster there coming off a 2, and that's going to be the focal point of where most of the incidents are going to happen tonight. With Decker trying to go low, as Marconi goes way down onto the apron for the lead here.
Marconi gonna take that bottom
we got
side
into the wall. Decker got into Woodward going into 3. Everybody stays going or pointed in the right direction here. Decker hemorrhaged some spots though. Woodward with a ton of damage has completely cheese grated the right side of the 47, but he had help doing it.
Well, the 47 will hold on to 3rd place. Ryan Decker is going to sit back in 7th as we run. But the 47's got a good amount of damage there on that right side. That's going to come into play.
Absolutely is. Yes, this track is only a mile, but it's very aero dependent. Especially with the side bite that these cars can generate. Is now here comes Javon Cherry making some headway. We now have all 4 championship contenders in the top 4. This is going to be a slugfest all night long.
Yeah, I expect these 4 drivers to be fighting for basically the win. I'm saying it now. I'll say it throughout the race and come to the end. You're going to need to win this race, I believe, to win this championship here tonight.
Absolutely. And that's what we have seen for the past handful of seasons in the real world Cup championship as well. The guys know that in order to guarantee that they walk out of the final race with the championship trophy, they've put on a clinic, and it's whoever wins the race usually, well, you've won the championship. You guaranteed yourself the championship at that point. As Lowe's and Marconi still going hammer and tongs at it.
The Yishan Dura in that 10 finally came out, and Brandon Lowe's Marconi are going to possibly catch him here.
Well, we are about to see is, yes, they are making some pretty good time right now, as Dura had just come out of the pits. He's on his first actual up-to-speed lap right now, as Marconi's still playing duck and peek around Lowe's back bumper. They're going to need to get this sorted out pretty quick, because they have a very hard-charging Javon Cherry trying to reel them in, as right now Marconi is in a dogs racing sandwich, the only member of dudes racing to be represented here tonight in the championship for J.D. Woodward, running as an independent, as we've seen him do all season long. But you got those 2 guys from dogs, as Brandon Lowe's and Javon Cherry, the teammates, both able to punch their cards into the championship 4. Marconi, big move going through the tri-oval, dives it in going into 3 as they come up on the lap car of Javon Cherry, or on Zishan Dura, side by side through 3 and 4. It's the 12 and the 25 show right now at Phoenix, as we are getting ready to put 10 laps in the books already.
Yeah, 10 laps down, and Brandon Lowe's is not gonna give up that easily. But the 12 of Greg Marconi is gonna try again here. Continues to dive down to the bottom. They'll go 3 wide as they get by Zishan Dura in the 10. They'll be door to door. The 12 and the 25 will, as they come out of 4 or 2. Yeah, I'm all kinds of.
That was 2.
I'm all kinds of disoriented.
Yeah, absolutely. It took me about half a race yesterday to get it sorted out in my own head, but now you saw that little bit of a wiggle. Yeah, you saw that little bit of a wiggle from Marconi coming off of to that last lap, being on that low line. That's something you're going to have to be mindful of, because we're going to see it get more pronounced as this race wears on. But right now, the top 3 throw a blanket over them, as they are stem to stern right now. Marconi now showing the way over the 2 dogs cars, as Lowe's and Cherry, all 3 of these guys have a almost 2 full second lead, over 4th place J.D. Woodward. Woodward right now is praying for a caution, so he can go in, burn his fast repair, and not go multiple laps down.
Yeah, Woodward coming into this, scored in 4th, started, I believe, 3rd, and now dropped back 1 spot here, but it's that damage that's really kind of slowing him up a little bit. And like you said,
yes,
just hanging on here for a caution, waiting to get that fixed up and get back into this thing. It's not over. Got a long way to go, and he knows it. So playing the cautious cautious race driver right now.
Absolutely is. You don't think in a mile track you're going to be as aero dependent as you are, but with as much front end damage, right front fender damage as he has, that's going to make turns 1 and 2 very difficult, because that's where all of the clean aero on the front of this car comes into play, planning that nose so that you can make that turn as effective as you possibly can. There's no banking in that end. 3 and 4, where they're going through right now as the leaders, yes, there's banking there. There's a little bit of banking coming through the dog leg if you're up actually on the racing surface. But what is now 1 and 2, where they are right now, it's less than 5 degrees. So not a lot of mechanical grip available. You need all the aero grip you can possibly get going through that end of the track. And if you look, that's where Woodward is losing all his time right now.
Yeah, very well said and explained. Thank you for that. I am noticing too, Tony, when you're coming out of 4 here, the stripe comes up rather quickly, and that's going to make that fight off of 4 on that last lap ever so important, getting that grip coming off.
Absolutely. And if you'll notice, the next time they come by, as they come into 3 and 4 again, the finish line does go all the way down to that inside wall. So there is a ton of room to make moves, but the fast line is going to be that high exit off of 4 and letting the car run and not try to pinch it down, and killing all your momentum. As if you'll notice earlier when Lowe's and Marconi were battling, Lowe's was on the high side, Marconi was on the low side, and it was only just a pure force of will that Marconi got that car up into the lead coming off of 4. Going through 1 and 2, that second lane is going to pay bigger and bigger dividends as the night wears on. You can see where Lowe's is running right now, and he is going to get a better run, and you'll see him reel Marconi right in as they come down the hallway. What was 2 car lengths going into 1 is now down to just over 1 car length as they go into 3. Right now,
Yeah,
Javon Cherry,
absolutely.
your biggest mover, sitting in 3rd place, up 4 spots from where he started. The second biggest mover of the night, the ace of Jason Papp. Actually, Papp now just gets into the 7th spot as he gets by Ernie Ludwig. Those 2 guys going at it right now. Just a slugfest right back there between Papp and Ludwig. But, yeah, Jason Papp, he likes to start at the back of these things. And that's been his MO all season. Start towards the back, see the dumpster fire coming towards you rather than get hit from behind by it. And it's served him well for the most part. Unfortunately, there's been quite a few times where he's not been able to avoid the dumpster fire, and that's why he's not playing for the championship right now. But so far, a pretty strong run for the ace.
Yeah, no doubt. As well, a strong run for the 12 of Greg Marconi, who currently sits in the 1st position. Brendan Lowe's going to chase him down right here, though, and sniff the inside. Jovan Cherry sitting in 3rd in the 48. JD Woodward's going to sit 4th, brushing with the wall, getting some damage, starting to just ride around here, hoping for a caution here to get some damage fixed up. And Nicholas Wing in the 90 is going to round out your top 5 as we run lap 23 of 160.
And as I'm looking at the live chat right now, Robbie, you missed it on lap 2. Unfortunately, the 28 and the 47 got together going into 1, and both of them kind of got into that safer barrier in the middle of 1 and 2. And it just cheese grated the right side of the 47. And that's why JD Woodward has dropped a couple of spots anyways. Currently sits in 4th, although just over 3 seconds behind this battle at the front. Good news is he does have a fast repair available, so expect when they do decide to put tires on sometime around, I would dare say, lap 40-ish, should we get a long green flag run. Expect to see him burn his fast repair there.
Yeah, the 47 just riding around here waiting for that yellow to come out or get into his window where it's time to come in, and just probably, he probably won't, or I would imagine he wouldn't take his fast repair if he does get to come in. Given it's still early, we've seen a lot of calm racing out here tonight, but we've got a long way to go, and this is the championship fight. I'm expecting to see some real, bumping and rubbing here at the end of this race. So I would If I were the 47 camp, I'd keep my fast repair in my back pocket and probably just try to get some of that damage fixed up. But it's been a while since I've been behind the wheel. I've been up here in the booth talking about it more than driving, so I would imagine they know better than us. But looks like 25 Brandon Lowe is going to sniff the outside but fall right back in behind that 12 of Greg Marconi.
Absolutely, as it just caught my attention is the battle for 7th getting hot and heavy again. And it looks like Jason Papp has gotten into the wall at some point. A little bit of damage on the right side of the number 1 as Ludwig looks to the inside coming off a 2. Going to fall back in line as they get that one sorted out pretty quick. But right now, as Shane Newen's going to be the first one to call no mas, brings it down pit road to get some service done on the 98. Ludwig looking to the inside, going through 3 and 4. Papp into the wall again in the middle of 1 and 2.
Yeah, Jason Papp having a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah. Ludwig, though, not able to really capitalize as he was way down on that low lane. And they're going to have to get this one sorted out because they are bringing Mark Mcfadden in as Papp goes to the real high side. Looks like he got it wrong coming through 3 and 4 as it's going to let Ludwig through. Mcfadden looking to follow his fellow Canadian as now Papp falls back to 9th and battles back on Mcfadden. This is one of your closest battles on track, a 3-car slugfest right now, as we are keeping an eye on the battle for the lead between Marconi and Lowe's. Championship implications there. And these guys are just putting on a hell of a show back here towards the tail end of the field.
Yeah, it looked like Papp back there didn't like the way his car was feeling, opted to get up out of the way and then gather it back up and go at it again. But no harm, no foul back there towards the back. Some exciting racing, though, even back in 7th through 9th place. So love to show you the front runners here, Marconi and Lowe's, but the excitement is towards the back of the field.
Well, we got one going on in the mid-pack right now as well, as that's Ryan Decker and Nick Wing going into a slugfest as well as they come up on the lap car of Shane Newens. As Decker, you can see all the damage on the right side of the 28. Wing had a good run. They both kind of gave plenty of room to the lapper, but Decker into the top 5. And he's having trouble through 1 and 2. That car is not wanting to turn. And you can see because of all the damage on the right side of that car, he's got a lot of aero push right now.
Yeah, the 28 of Ryan Decker, the other car there involved with J.D. Woodward early on, getting into some trouble and causing some damage on both of those cars, slowing them down quite a bit. Both of those guys, 4th and 5th here, just waiting to bring it down to pit lane as Jason Papp peels off.
So lap 33 for Papp. Let's see if Papp is going to burn his fast repair. If what he's done all season holds true here, I wouldn't expect him to burn the fast repair this early, but he's got to do something to try to mitigate the time that he's losing due to not being able to turn that car. As looks like the leaders are coming up to some more lap traffic. I believe that is, yes, that's Mark Mcfadden that they're coming up to get to his back bumper back in 8th. As that should tell you the pace that these guys up front are setting right now. As Mcfadden doing the gentlemanly thing, getting down out of the way, not wanting to be, air quotes, that guy tonight. Yeah. We all know what I mean when I say that guy. We've all raced with, we've all raced with that guy before.
Of all nights, you don't want to be that guy tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. As Ludwig doing the same thing, realizes that is the lead group behind him. He gets down out of the way, going through 3 and 4. Has given plenty of room to the leaders right now. As Javon Cherry just ever so slightly drifting back from this lead pair. Now these guys are only 2.5 seconds, or 2 seconds behind his own teammate. 2.5 seconds behind your leader, Greg Marconi, is, we're running stem to stern right now. So the question is, who of the top 4 is going to be the first one to blink? We've already seen quite a few guys, or a couple of guys anyways, bring it pit side to, get fresh shoes put on those cars. Jason Papp just 4 in fuel. So no real big damage repair for the one. The 98 of new ones, though, did spend a little bit of an extended time on pit road. I'm showing 27 seconds. Is Mcfadden going to bring it pit side on lap 38? Getting ready to put 38 in the books now for your leaders. As Mcfadden bringing it down for Mr. Feelgoods and a fresh tank of Go Fast.
Mcfadden, one of the 3 Canadians in the race here tonight, and we kind of mention it as the season goes on, and I think these are the 3 Canadians who show up pretty much every single week, whether they're in the chase, or in the playoffs or in contention for the championship or not. So that makes me happy. I'm glad you guys are here and running for hopefully a spoiler, as everyone's chasing these top 4.
All right, so which one of us gets to sing "Oh Canada"? Brandon Lowe's wins the championship tonight.
Well, I think we'll have to bring one of them in.
There you go.
I'll tell you what, if Brandon Lowe's, if he comes and wins it, takes the championship, we're going to just put him on the spot, and he's just going to have to sing it.
All right, then. That'll work for me, but, right now he's in the catbird seat, just stalking Greg Marconi, kind of riding right now, seeing what this first tire run is going to look like as Nick Wing brings the STP 90 down pit road to get some service done there. But, Lowe's and Marconi have just put on a clinic here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Marconi's continue to lead this thing. He's up 1 spot from where he started here. Took the green flag in second place outside row. Currently controlling the pace here and really showing them how to get around. But Brandon Lowe's sitting there in second spot, just kind of, biding his time, letting the car come to him. He's about a half a second behind. Doesn't have any reason to push. Just going to stay calm here and let these laps tick off. But I expect Brandon Lowe's here to be here at the end and really fighting for it. I don't think we've seen what the 25 car has fully yet. He sat on the pole, had the fastest lap in qualifying, and I expect to see him there battling for it at the end and give this 12 a run for his money.
Absolutely, and what Brandon Lowe's is able to do right now is he's watching what Marconi's doing, especially going through what's now 1 and 2. Watching where he puts that car, and he's kind of watching the relative to see if he's gaining here, losing there, what's going on. Just watching the line that the 12 is taking, especially as this tire run wears on. Should we get a long green flag run towards the end of this race? Lowe's has got that knowledge of, okay, this late in the race, he's putting the car here. I need to put my car here. As Marconi gets into the marbles going into 2, able to collect it as they work their way around the lap car of Ernie Ludwig. Ludwig just coming out of the pits there after getting 4 fresh shoes. Ludwig not having a good time of it here tonight. The car not handling the way he really wants to. Now, mind you, this is a fixed setup league. And, he's not having a bad night, but he's not having a good night by Ludwig standards, as we've seen him run up towards the front in the past.
So Decker and Woodward are in the pits right now. We're seeing, I want to just see if he takes his fast repair here, if Woodward does.
Looks like the answer is a definite maybe.
Yes, Ryan Decker.
Yes, he did.
I don't think Ryan Decker did.
Decker did not, but yeah, Woodward did. Woodward absolutely did, because you can see that those fenders are back flared out, as he comes out right in between Marconi and Lowe's. And let's see what type of speed Woodward's got here on the fresh shoes. Unlaps himself the hard way. And that's the difference between old tires and new tires. You're talking about a 2-second tire fall off here around Phoenix tonight. Again, relatively cool temperatures, but still, 2 seconds is huge.
Yeah, but I think Greg Marconi just needs to stay calm and stick to his plan, stick to the strategy, and just keep running laps here. You know, your first instinct is, wow, he's going a lot faster than me. I should come in and get tires also, but you got to think long run, and you got to stick to your game. You got to get all the fuel out of this tank and go on to the next one, because we've seen here so far, we're on almost lap 50 here. Knock on wood, clean and green. I think we're going to see more of the same tonight. I don't think we're going to see a lot of, clearly it's not going to be a caution fest, but these guys are racing clean. And if we do get any cautions, they're going to be late in this race.
I would have to agree with you on that one as, the aggression starts to ramp up. But right now, J.D. Woodward just set the fastest lap of the event, 27.41. On those fresh shoes on his first flyer. So, I would expect Marconi, Lowe's, and Woodward to come down pit side within the next 2 to 3 laps.
Marconi, Lowe's, and Cherry.
Marconi, Lowe's, and Cherry. You're right. I'm sorry. I do apologize about that, folks. But, those are the only 3 that haven't been down pit road yet. And it looks like everybody except Ludwig and Newens, it was just a standard stop in fuel for everybody so far. Ludwig and Newens spending a little extra time getting some damage repaired. Same goes for the 10 of Dura, as he was over a minute on pit road. As here comes Ludwig on the fresh shoes. Finally got the heat back in those tires as he's starting to be able to pick up the pace. Nick Wing right there as well, as both those guys have gotten by Brandon Lowe's. Lowe's has fallen off because of the lap cars, being faster than he is. As right now, Marconi got to be careful, as both those drivers have fresh rubber under those cars. And Lowe's the first one to blink out of the top 3.
Yeah, that's going to cause a domino effect, I would imagine. You're going to see Greg Marconi and Jovan Cherry choose very soon to come in as well.
Like possibly right now for Marconi.
I'm surprised he didn't peel off.
Oh, wow.
Probably wasn't quite prepared for it, but will or should be this time, as Lowe's is in his box now, and he will get his services done. And we've seen how much faster you can be on fresh tires.
Absolutely.
And I mean, this is laps after I just said Marconi's got to stick to his guns and stick with his strategy. So we're seeing actually he's going to do that. He did not peel off this time or last time. So he's got a strategy in mind. He's going to stick to it. We'll see how it plays out for him, as Jovan Cherry is going to peel off now.
Well, you've got to cover off the undercut. Especially with the 2-second tire fall off between the haves and have-nots right now. Marconi's last lap, 29.44. Fastest lap, 27.46. So, like I said, about two full seconds fall off. You've got to be careful, especially when you've got a very hungry number 25 on fresh shoes. J.D. Woodward on fresh shoes. Jovan Cherry going to be on fresh shoes in about 5 more seconds. But Brandon Lowe's a little bit of an extended stop. 2 full extra seconds in his box. And it was a 16.7 stop for Lowe's. Compare that to the 14.52 for Cherry in box service time. That's something you're really going to have to be mindful of, as looks like Zishan Dura is back on pit road. And the question is,
pit road.
The question is, how much longer is Greg Marconi going to stay out, as he just flashes by pit in there coming off a 2? as we are quickly approaching 60 laps into this piece.
Yeah, he's already 5 laps or been out 5 laps longer than everybody else, at least, you know. And he is definitely running this thing out. I think this comes down to all the practice that these guys have run. You know, we talked about the top 4 out here, the longest practicing. They know what their cars can run on. And like I said, I think that 12 is sticking to his strategy. He doesn't want to blink, doesn't want to. He's got to stick to his guns at this point. I think it's why he's where he is in this championship. It's consistency and sticking to your strategy. And here he is in the lead right now for the championship. We'll see how it plays out. I know he definitely needs to come in soon. Got to get that fresh rubber and keep these guys behind him. But so far, he is sticking to his strategy.
Well, I don't think this is going to work out for him this time by, because if you look right behind him, that's Brandon Lowe's on the fresh shoes. And Lowe's just cranked off a 27.8 as he is now with a full head of steam coming off of 4. Marconi looks like he's coming in this time. Down on the apron he goes through 1 and 2 as Lowe's gets his lap back the hard way. Now the pit delta from the commitment cone where Marconi just went in to the exit cone, it's 57 seconds. 55 to 57 seconds. Brandon Lowe's was only 33 seconds behind Marconi on the previous lap before he got by him as Marconi decided to come down pit road, which means effective race lead is going to go to Brandon Lowe's as Cherry, Woodward, Decker, and Wing are all now back on the lead lap. And Marconi into his pit stall. Let's keep an eye on Lowe's. Lowe's flashes by to take the lead. Cherry goes by. Marconi still in pit road. Left side's up. Decker's now by. Marconi just dropped to 5th.
Yeah, strategy not looking great, but we will see how this plays out. Give us some time, let those tires get in. You know, it doesn't look great for him, but let's see what the 12's got. He's a championship caliber team, and you know, I know it doesn't feel right now, but let's see how it plays out.
Well, the other thing to be mindful of, the last time by, Lowe's was a 28 flat. Cherry was a 28 flat. Woodward was a 28.25, and Decker was a 28.7. So they were only down pit road about 10 laps ago, and you're already talking half a second fall off. So Marconi needs to use this first 10 laps to just blister this mile in the desert in Phoenix. 3.5 seconds behind Ryan Decker, in front of him. 13.2 is the gap to Brandon Lowe's, who's leading this piece. Plenty of racing left. We're only working lap 64 of 160. Lowe's continues to show, or is showing the way. 2.5 seconds to the good over his teammate Javon Cherry, who is up 5 spots from where he started this piece, running in second. JD Woodward, another chase contender, is another 5 seconds back from Cherry. Then you have non-chase contender Ryan Decker sitting in the number 4 spot, another 2.5 seconds back. Greg Marconi is another 3 seconds back off of Decker. So still a lot of racing left to run. Only one retirement to speak of, and that is the 10 of Zishan Zura, as he has completely cheese grated the right side of the number 10 and decided, yeah, we're just going to put this one on the hauler tonight. Still $25 bonus or bounty on the line should a non-playoff contender, so anybody that's not in the Final Four, if they should win here tonight, it's a $25 bounty to be paid out to them. But right now, that Championship 4 has, so far, between a handful of them, have led every lap so far tonight.
Yeah, Lowe's, Cherry, Woodward, Decker, your top four. Cherry, Lowe's, Marconi, Woodward, your top four coming into this race in the standings. One notable, though, Brandon Lowe's makes the biggest jump coming out of Martinsville out of those
Yes.
four drivers. So he's really got the momentum, I believe, coming into this race. Currently sitting in first. Got about a 2-second gap over the 48 of Jovan Cherry as well. So sitting pretty comfortable here as we come lap 68 of 160. You know, and we talked about Marconi dropping back to fifth. I think that makes Brandon Lowe's very comfortable. I think he doesn't have to push so hard right now. Having a 2-second gap over second place here is really nice.
Absolutely is. These guys are just clicking off laps and trying to get it done here. But Marconi not having a good time of it right now. Not able to get down into the 27s. Only a handful of laps after he got fresh rubber put on that number 12. As not gaining on Decker as quickly as he would like to. Now, he is within striking distance now, but it's taken him quite a while to do so.
Yeah, I think he had to really wait a handful of laps for the driver's tires who came into the pits, many laps earlier than him. He needed those tires to fall off a bit before he was going to make any substantial gains. He's coming around now, but he's got a long way to go on track. I kind of almost take back everything I was saying while he was sitting out there letting his strategy play out. Hindsight's 2020, and it's not looking so great for the 12 right now. We'll see if he can make it up or see if we get some cautions here to kind of even things out. See if Marconi can make his way back to the front.
Absolutely, but Marconi, one of the winningest drivers all season, but the winningest team all season is the duo of Brandon Lowe's and Jovan Cherry. I'm taking a quick look here. Between the two of them, they have 13 wins. 8 wins for Cherry, 5 for Lowe's, 5 for Marconi, and 2 for J.D. Woodward. The only other person to win more than 2 races this season is Cedric Hunter. Unfortunately, he got eliminated early on in the round of 16. I take that back. There was a driver that has left the league since then who won very early in the season. Just decided to say no mas and only has 5 total starts. And that would be Tony Ball. But, you take a look at just the 4 drivers that are in the championship round. That's a pretty decent number of wins. You're talking over half the wins between those 4 drivers alone.
And that's why they're there. They've got the skill. They've pushed hard all season long, got plenty of wins under their belt, and that's why they're in the top 4. And that's why they're the cars to beat here tonight.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you go to the next column, number of top 5s, Jovan Cherry, 15 of 25 starts in the top 5. Brandon Lowe's, 11 of 17 starts in the top 5. Greg Marconi, 35 races, 23 of those were top 5s, 30 of them were top 10s. And J.D. Woodward, 24 starts, 14 top 5s, 18 top 10s. It's consistency that wins championships. And yes, there is a playoff format, so it kind of changes the way things work. But if you just take a look at the consistency between those 4 drivers, there's zero doubt as to why they are here. There's only one other driver that had that type of percentage of top 10s, top 5s to starts, and that's Connor Tafari, who coming into tonight is 5th in points. Was not able to transfer into the round of 4, but still an amazing season for the young gunner. driving the number 9 this season, and Connor still has a very long racing career in front of him, but fifth place in points with as tough as this field is week in and week out, that's not anything to really shake a stick at, nothing to be ashamed of, because, you know, you're always racing with some of the best. As It's like Marconi, while I was busy flapping my yap, has gotten up into third.
Yeah, he's slowly working his way, clawing his way back to the front. I would imagine by the time he gets there, he's gonna have worn out that fresh rubber, and will be pretty even with Lowe's and Cherry. I don't think he'll have enough this time around to get back up to the lead, but I think he's at least back to where he needs to be. Hoping for what could be a later race caution, as we're at lap 80. We're halfway there. He's not in a bad position. He's not in the best position he could possibly be, but he's still in contention, and that's where you got to be halfway into this race here at Phoenix.
Absolutely, and the gap from Brandon Lowe's to his teammate Javon Cherry, it's still maintaining right around 2 seconds. So pretty evenly matched between the 25 and the 48 right now. Again, Javon Cherry up 5 spots from when he started this piece, because he did not have a good qualifying attempt. As we are seeing another round of green flag pit stops taking place, Decker has been down pit road. Wing is down pit road right now. Mark Mcfadden has been down pit road. So, that second round of green flag stops is happening. Now, the question is, what's Marconi going to do when Lowe's and Cherry finally come in? Is he going to try to cut off the undercut this time, or is he going to stick to his strategy that he started this race with?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think if I'm in his shoes, I'm going to try to change things up a bit, just playing through it in my own head. And that's probably, that could be one of my biggest downfalls, is listening to myself. But I think if you're Marconi, you gotta try something a little bit different. But we'll see how it plays out. But Tony, why don't we go side by side, take a quick break here tonight, and then we'll come back and finish this one off.
Absolutely. Here's a quick word from our good friends over at Red Cat.
And welcome back live to the racetrack, where Brandon Lowe's continues to lead here at Phoenix. Lap 87 of 160 of the Rowdy Energy Cup Series finale here. We will crown a champion tonight. Our top 4 is the top 4 in points. Lowe's, Cherry, Marconi, and Woodward. Brian Decker rounding up your top 5.
Absolutely. Decker a lap down, as he has gone down for his second round of green flag pit stops. But Lowe's, Cherry, Marconi, and Woodward right now are putting the field on notice that there's a reason why they are in the top 4 in points coming into tonight, as the race has been led stem to stern between 2 drivers, Greg Marconi and Brandon Lowe's. Those 2 guys have led all 88 laps so far here tonight, as we are just past the halfway mark. Still a lot of racing left to do. Still a lot of strategy left to play out as well, as the gap between Brandon Lowe's and his teammate Javon Cherry at the front of this piece has maintained right around 2 seconds, as Cherry, arguably not a shorter track driver. Most of his wins have come on the 1.5 miles and bigger tracks here this year, but he's no slouch when it comes to getting around a technical track. But Brandon Lowe's, the Canadian up at the front of this piece, is putting on a clinic here tonight, and putting the rest of the field on notice that if you want it, you've got to go through him, as winning the Red Cat Pole Award and setting quick time in qualifying has just been on rails all night. So far, the pit strategy playing out in the 25's favor, as Greg Marconi has whittled the lead down from almost 13 seconds to looks like just under 8. Now it's 7.5 seconds, as Marconi's still not quite fallen off at the same pace that Lowe's is, but both those guys running high 29s, high 28s, low 29s for their lap times, as Lowe's goes 28.9. That time by Cherry goes 29.2, Marconi 28.7. So, your top 3, top 4 actually, is JD Woodward goes 29.7. They're all right there within each other, but Woodward not having the same performance that we saw in the previous generation of Cup car earlier in the season here at Phoenix.
Yeah, Woodward a little bit slower right now. Marconi, however, on the opposite, is actually very consistent, and probably the one I'd worry about, as Brandon Lowe's runs up front. He's got Jovan Cherry, who we haven't talked about much so far this race, but he is right there in second place, right where he needs to be. If he just stays calm and runs out really good laps, he's going to have something for Lowe's at the end. But Marconi is running a little bit faster than Cherry on track, so slowly catching him. We got a ways to go, but not a lot. We're already on lap 94 of 160, and we've seen that this race is probably going to go clean and green, as we say, and you don't have a lot of time, so you really got to get up on the wheel and get going. Even though we're not even near the end here, you're going to run out of time before you know it.
Absolutely, but one of the best strategic minds in the field belongs to the driver of the number 48, Javon Cherry. We've seen him play the pit strategy to perfection earlier in the season. Is JD Woodward bringing the 47 down pit road for his second green flag pit stop. So, second time tonight, we've seen Woodward be the first one of the championship four to blink to get tires put on that car, as Decker gets back by him.
Let's see this time by if Greg Marconi changes something up with his strategy and decides to follow Woodward, or just continues to stick to his guns.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this one does play out. I think it's more going to be along the lines of he's going to go whenever Lowe's and Cherry go. Woodward right now has dropped all the way to 6th. Now a lap to the rears of the... make that 2 laps down.
Yeah, Marconi currently 5.2 seconds behind the leader, so that definitely makes more sense. He's got
Yeah, and
Cherry
that
3
5.2
seconds.
seconds was that it was that 7 extra laps that Marconi stayed out after Lowe's and Cherry both came down pit road. There's a 7-lap difference between when Marconi pitted and when Lowe's and Cherry both pitted, and that's where that 5-second deficit came from. It was 13 when this round of or when Marconi came out of the pits after getting his service. It was over 13 seconds, and that's where that deficit came from. The undercut is so huge here tonight. As that is Woodward right behind Marconi now, and you're going to see the difference. This is what 40 lap newer tires looks like. You can see just how easily Woodward able to make it stick going through 1 and 2. Down the hallway they go one more time, as we are just past the century mark. 100 laps in the books. Lowe's, Cherry, Marconi, Decker, Wing, Woodward, Mcfadden, Ludwig, Papp, and Newens, your current running order. 10 cars still running. Zishandura, the only retirement here tonight, going to finish in 11th position.
3 cars on the lead lap. Those 3 cars are the top 3 in the current point standings. The fourth, only the one and only JD Woodward in the standings, but Ryan Decker is going to hold the 4th spot on track right now, but is a lap down. The cream has risen to the top. Brandon Lowe's, Jovan Cherry, Greg Marconi, Ryan Decker, Nicholas Wing going to be your top 5 here as we run lap 102 of 160 of the Rowdy Energy Cup Series finale here at Phoenix. Do not change the channel. Do not look away. It will get exciting here towards the end. And these guys will be battling it out. Guarantee the top 4 will be there battling for the top 4 at the end.
Absolutely. And we do need to thank our sponsors for the series. Of course, Rowdy Energy Cup, brought to you by Rowdy Energy. Midwest Motor Customs, our good friends over at Circle B Diecast, iRacing, iFlag, and Butt Kicker, allowing us to bring the action to you here tonight. Without those great sponsors, we would not be able to do so. And if you like what you're seeing, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, share, turn on bell notifications. Text it to your neighbor, put it on your social media, let everybody know that you like what you're seeing with the Rowdy Energy Cup Series. These guys, they follow the Real World Cup tour, and they do this every week on every Monday night. We have broadcasts going on every night of the week. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we have a triple header going on with the UK Sim Racing MX5 Pro Series. That's week number 9 from Daytona, the Daytona Road Course. That is a 2:50 Eastern Time start. The middle race is going to be the Ricmatech Truck Series from the Nashville Super Speedway. That is going to be an 8:55 start. And then the nightcap is going to be the Western States Racing League, round number 17 from Bristol. That is a 10:05 Eastern Time start. Wednesday night, we've got the doubleheader. It is going to be the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series, round 13 from the road course at Indianapolis. That is going to be an 8:15 start. And then 10 minutes later, we also have the Pony Express Sim Racing for Endurance for Amateurs. GT cars, round 9 at Brands Hatch, 8:25 Eastern Time start for that one. So still a lot of racing left this week here on ESPN. You don't want to miss a single moment of action, as Marconi, the first one of the top 3 to blink.
And Marconi's going to bring it down, peeling away from 3rd place. Cherry and Lowe's ahead of him, 1st, 2nd. Marconi's kind of just playing out his strategy as he has from the beginning.
It looks like lesson learned from that first long green flag run. looking to get the undercut on Lowe's and Cherry this time. Let's see. And Lowe's immediately cuts it off coming down pit road. Cherry in as well.
Yeah, Lowe's and Cherry opting to come down as Greg Marconi will be dropping his right sides now and working on the left sides, but it looks like strategy is almost thrown out the window here as the top three are all in. JD Woodward currently 5th, still out on the racetrack here, last pitted on lap 94.
And that is your battle for effective race lead going on right now between Marconi and Decker. Decker on the older shoes by about 20 laps, and Marconi on the fresh rubber and just starting to walk away from him as Cherry finally down and away, or Lowe's down and away, Cherry down and away. And there it is. Marconi has negated Lowe's lead as he is now all over the back bumper of Cherry. What was a 1.5 gap now down to about 4 car lengths.
So Cherry's got these colder tires. They are fresher, but Marconi's tires are worn in. He's feeling comfortable on them. You see, you're going to watch him put the pressure on Cherry, hoping to get by him here, but he's got, well, he ran a much faster lap time, obviously, last time around in the 40-25 as they were on pit road, but Marconi's going to try to work this 48 and try to get by him. What we're essentially seeing here is possibly a pass here for what could be second
place.
Well, what will be second place if he can hold on to it.
It's Cherry on the high side, Marconi on the low side by side through 1 and 2. Cherry getting a little bit better run coming off of 2, using that second lane to his advantage. Marconi full send it mode going into 3.
Marconi's going to take that lead away from Jovan Cherry. Exactly what he needed to do here at lap 112 of 160. This one's winding down, but Brandon Lowe's fastest on the racetrack as we run. Last lap by was a 27:41 to Greg Marconi's 27:55.
And that was because Marconi was side by side with the 48 of Cherry. Let's see what this next lap brings. And 27.6, slower still for Marconi. Now, mind you, there's only 1 lap difference between those two guys on the tire stint. As Jason Papp bringing them 1 back down pit road. Not the night he was hoping for the driver of the 1. But again, JD Woodward not having a good time of it either. Down 2 spots from where he started. Currently sits in 5th behind the 48 of Ryan Decker. And you're looking at about a 6-second gap between those two.
Yeah, Woodward's got a long way to go to make up just to 4th. Never mind the 17 seconds behind he is from race leader Brandon Lowe's. One of the only 3 Canadians in the field the only Canadian in the field in the top 5. Only 3 here tonight, but Brandon Lowe's making a run here for what would be a championship, as we've only got we're at lap 115 of 160, coming into this thing in second position, but up 6 spots from where he in the standings from where he came into this thing. And really showing us how to get it done here tonight as he's running the faster laps. I'm sorry, Greg Marconi actually just ran a split hair faster lap time than Brandon Lowe's did, but for all intents and purposes, the 25 car is the one to beat here tonight.
Now the question is, and I'm gonna put this question to you, Cliff. We saw Greg Marconi prove that you can make it from here. Are we going to see another round of green flag pit stops from your lead group?
Oh, they pit a lap 107 and 108 respectively.
And we saw Marconi go 60 at the beginning of this thing.
No, I think you're going to see these guys run it out to the bitter end. And, they'll probably go into save mode pretty soon if they're going to try to do that. But, I mean, what do I know? I'm just the commentator. Just out here talking about the race and seeing how these guys do. These guys got the brains. These guys are the ones who race week in, week out and put many hours of practice into it. But I think when it comes down to it, brass tacks, you just got to go for it. These top four have been the top four all season. They're the cream of the crop. They know that they're the handful of best drivers, so to speak, in this league. They've put in the time and effort and got the results to show for it. And I think tonight at Phoenix, you just got to go for it and really put all your faith.
Oh, there it is.
This will change everything.
Decker. Something happened to Decker.
Ryan Decker in the 28 is going to come down to pit road. Let's see what happened here.
That's a receipt given.
Oh.
that was a pure. I mean, you could see that car shoot up the track. That was a receipt from what happened earlier in the race. Woodward showing his frustration here early, as we still have a ton of racing left to do. Just gets in and doors Decker, gets him sideways, and we are under caution for the first time here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you said early. I think you meant late. What happened early. The 28 and the 47 got into it early on, and I think what we just saw was Woodward's, disapproval of that early trouble, and really what probably caused the 47 his championship here tonight. So retaliation, maybe. I think he had enough and was tired of running around here in fourth or fifth place, and it was the 28's fault in his mind, so he gave him a piece of it.
Well, let's see what happens here. Is Woodward is going to be able to pit and get that car serviced. I believe he already burned his fast repair, though, so this is not going to help him as much as he was really hoping for. But
yeah, he burned it early.
Yeah. So that's the biggest thing.
Is anything to do with him trying to fix his car up.
Well, if he still had the fast repair, and he's spending extended time on pit road, trying to get some of that damage mitigated, as that's going to let Nick Wing get by him. It looks like. Woodward down and away. But Lowe's winning the battle off pit road. 4 in fuel for everybody. Javon Cherry spending a little bit extra time making sure that those fenders are flared out where they need to be, as he did get into the wall just ever so slightly coming off of turn 4 about 20 laps ago. So just a little bit of damage repair, as Mark Mcfadden stays out to try to get one of his laps back from the wave around there. And I'm sorry, I love the paint scheme on the 5. If we can get one of the high-speed drones in front of that car, maybe look back from the pace car. A long time Hanna-Barbera fan. Captain Caveman on the side of that piece. Just a beautiful Ford Mustang. I'm sorry.
Indeed, a beautiful paint job. But let's go through our top 5 here. Brandon Lowe's, the 25 car. This shakes everything up, but he was the car to beat Greg Marconi is going to start on the outside of him in second place. Now has another opportunity here to come back and take this one back. Jovan Cherry's going to start third on this restart, with JD Woodward starting on the outside of row number 2 here for this restart. Here we go. The top 4 is back where they, pretty much belong. And 125 of lap 160 when we cross the line. This kind of resets everything here.
Absolutely. As the field working its way through the 3-4 complex into the Red Cat restart zone they go. Lowe's has the button as green flag in the air, and we are back underway. 124 laps in the books. Marconi not getting up to speed, gets the chrome horn from Woodward.
Yeah, 12 does not get going there. Woodward tries to drive right through him, has to go around. As you know, physics is just doesn't let you run through people. But Marconi did not get going, so what are you going to do? Brandon Lowe's starts to pull away, though.
Absolutely. Lowe's pulling away. Cherry right there. As throw a blanket over your top 4, as they've got a pretty decent gap back to the 90 of Nick Wing. Only 5 cars left on the lead lap. Wing was able to get the free pass to get back on the lead lap in that beautifully prepared STP Chevy Camaro. As Marconi looks to the inside of Cherry going into 3, Cherry shuts the door on him. Slugfest for second place right now, as if you're Brandon Lowe's, you're looking in your rearview mirror going, yeah, go ahead, guys, just slug it out. And just as Brandon Lowe's sets the fastest time of the race, Ryan Decker immediately eclipses it by almost a full tenth. 27.31. Good grief.
That 28 Oreo machine sets a blazing lap. 27.3. Unfortunately, he's 1 lap down. Not quite gonna really make a difference here unless he can get back on the lead lap. Everybody chasing Brandon Lowe's right now. Jovan Cherry, Marconi, and Woodward second, third, and fourth. JD Woodward getting into the 28 to cause the most recent caution, our one and only caution. Hoping to make something happen here as he is sitting fourth, but might be just a little bit too late in this race to make anything happen. Although he is definitely back on the lead lap and sitting where he needs to be right now.
Absolutely, but pit strategy out the window, as we are having roughly a 35 lap shootout for this one, as we got the green back on lap 125. 160 laps of scheduled distance. We now have 129 in the books, working lap 130. As Lowe's, Cherry, Marconi, Woodward, your chase contenders, your championship contenders coming into tonight, currently sitting in the top 4 spots. As right now, JD Woodward has his hands full of the 90 of Nick Wing for fourth, as those two guys just going hammer and tongs.
Yeah, Tony, I'd say just about everything's out the window at this point. We've got about 30 to go. We're going to crown a champion here at the end of this thing. JD Woodward's back up here in fourth. You got Lowe's, Cherry, Marconi in front of him. Nicholas Wing putting on the pressure. And we may possibly see this 90 car of Nicholas Wing work his way towards the front to possibly claim that bounty. I want to give a shout out to Caitlin here in the chat saying, go baby go. This is it. We're go baby go time.
Absolutely. And Caitlin, who are you pulling for? We don't know who baby is. Now, I know Sally Hammond's pulling for the 5. I mean, that's a no-brainer right there. But and we know Robbie Chambliss, thank you for joining us. Everybody that's watching right now, thank you. We do appreciate this. And again, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action. We do this just about every night of the week. I believe right now, and Cliff, correct me if I'm wrong, but Saturday's the only day that we do not have any scheduled broadcasts currently.
Yeah, Saturday's kind of our day of rest, as Marconi and the 48 are pushing the pressure on the 25 Saturday, we don't have any broadcasts here on ESPN or Sim Racing Media. So, we kind of rest on Saturdays, but that doesn't mean we're not looking for more leagues to sponsor and broadcast. So if you're looking for any coverage, let us know, especially if you're running a Saturday league. Reach out to us. We're definitely looking for some coverage on Saturday. But you're right, Tony. Saturday's the only day we do not have a race going on. Man, this top three is heating up as Lowe's, Cherry, and Marconi are fighting for the top three. Marconi looking to take that lead back. He led very early. And JD Woodward in sitting fifth right now. That would make your top four. Nicholas Wing looking to be the spoiler in that 90 Chevy, currently running fourth.
Absolutely. Now, when we do finish the race tonight, we are going to be talking to the top four in points. So we will be talking to Brandon Lowe's, Javon Cherry, Greg Marconi, and JD Woodward. So you're not going to want to miss that, to recap the season. And we will also be talking to the chief cook and bottle washer of the Rowdy Energy Cup Series and the iRacing East League as a whole. One Mr. Jason Papp, as we are going to get his final thoughts as the season comes to an end for the Rowdy Energy Cup Series. That does not mean that the iRacing East Series is over with, as they are hot and heavy in the chase on Friday night for the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series, as they are getting ready to start the round of 8 for their playoffs. They will be in the Xfinity car this coming Friday from Daytona, and as Marconi works to the outside of Cherry, wrestles second away from Cherry, as Cherry filling the rearview mirrors of that Midwest Motor Customs Ford Mustang of Marconi.
Yeah, and the way these guys are racing, you would think they were racing for the lead. Marconi taking away second place here, but setting his sights now on Brandon Lowe's and really racing this car for everything it's got. He's got 22 laps to go. Brandon Lowe's is about a half a second ahead of him. And, he sees his season, or at least in this league and in these cars, he sees his season start to come to an end here. And if he's got anything to say for it, he's going to chase down Brandon Lowe's in this 25 Chevy in first place and really try to give him everything he's got. We saw that he was leading earlier. He's got the speed for it. Let's see if he can go get it back from Brandon Lowe's right now.
Now, here's the thing to keep in mind, too. Marconi said last week he hates this track. This is not one of his wheelhouse facilities. But the fact that Marconi has led some laps here tonight, started on the outside of row number 1, and currently is fighting for the win here tonight at Phoenix, that tells me one thing, and that is Marconi has put in work this week. I dare say probably close to 1,000 laps have been run by the driver of the 12 to learn this track, learn the nuances, learn where he needs to put the car. He's gone through all sorts of green flag scenarios to see what's going to happen to the car through a tire run, as right now Lowe's starting to pull away ever so slightly from Marconi. And I think that battling with Cherry really cost Marconi a lot of time and burned up a lot of the tire, as Lowe's was able to run his own line, not having to battle with anyone. It's starting to rear its head now, as almost a full tenth to the good is Lowe's over Marconi in lap times. And just as I say that, it is exactly a tenth.
Yeah, and Tony, you hit on it. The practice here is so important. To come out and just run is not enough. And to come out and just practice ahead of time is not enough either. You've got to come out here and you got to put time in. You've got to set your own sessions up. You've got to run test sessions. You've got to feel the car out. You've got to get a good feel for your fuel run, your tire wear, your setup. This is not a show up on Monday night and run for a championship. You've really got to put that time in throughout the season, and it's showing for Lowe's, Marconi, Cherry, and Woodward, and you know, these guys are here because they put the time in.
Absolutely. And another guy that has really put the time in too, hasn't had the season to show for it, mostly because he's been caught up in everybody else's dumpster fire all season long. That's the 90 of Nick Wing. Nick was one of the strongest cars when we went uh, to the dirt earlier in the season. So, definitely a short track specialist. And here we are on a mile. Now, mile doesn't sound like a short track to you, but when you're used to running 2.5, mile and a half, 2 miles, the bigger tracks like that, when we come to a mile, yeah, they really do consider, especially a place like Phoenix, this place races like a short track. I heard a couple drivers saying that they're shifting gears in the corners here. So, you got part road course, part part short track to try to make these cars work around this place. And you know, Wang Wang's impressive tonight. Like I said, he's not running for a championship, but running top four right now, and is splitting up the monopoly at the front of this thing from the championship four.
Well, he's got he's in fourth. He's got 14 laps to go. He's got an opportunity here to play that spoiler. He's not far behind, big scheme of things. And you're right. This track certainly runs like a short track, especially with the new layout. As I'm watching this race play out, this is my first race to call on the new layout, and with the start finish where it is so close to the exit of 4, it's corner 4 is going to be so important, just like a really short track where everything comes down to exiting 4 and coming to that start finish, because you've got such a short straightaway there until you get across the stripe. And when we come to the last lap, it's how quick can you get across that stripe.
Well, here we go with 11 to go. Marconi looking to the inside. It'll be 11 to go this time across the stripe. Brandon Lowe's continues to show the way, but Marconi right there within striking distance.
And we're seeing it now as we play out, 11 laps to go. We'll come around one more mile and we'll be 10 laps to go. And these guys are right there. Lowe's and Marconi are within 0.2 of a second. So we already can tell that it's going to come down to just about either second to last or the very last lap, as these guys are going to battle it out as hard as they can until the end of the race. And we're going to see who can get off of 3 and 4 the quickest and with the most amount of grip and get across that really quick up and coming start checkered finish line, coming out of 4. And we've seen with this new layout, it's a very short distance.
Absolutely. But the key to that final lap is going to be the drive off of 2. That's going to be where this race is really going to be won. Can you get the drive off of 2 that you need to keep the other person behind you, or get that nose out front going into 3? Are we going to see contact on the last lap? Not on purpose, because
I hope so.
I can tell you. I can tell you right now, all 3 of these guys, gentlemen drivers, Brandon Lowe's, Greg Marconi, and Javon Cherry, they would rather lose the race than lose themselves trying to get a championship here tonight. They're not a win at all costs type of driver. And, if it comes down to those 3 at the finish, are they going to lean on each other? Probably. Are they going to purposely turn anybody else? Definitely not on purpose.
Yeah, no, well said. These guys are stand-up drivers. They're very respectable. We know 8 tires corner better than 4. So you're right. They'll probably lean on each other at the very best. They're definitely not going to wreck each other for a win, even if it is for a championship. The respect level here with the iRacing E Series is just paramount. here and in the Super Speedway series. So the group itself is just very friendly, and they're not, like you said, they're not gonna take each other out for what is a virtual championship. But they will race hard, and they will definitely lean on each other. But we'll see with 6 to go here as this thing unfolds. Greg Marconi is chasing down Lowe's. He's got a little bit of a gap to catch back up as he's down now to about a half a second behind the 25 of Brandon Lowe's.
Absolutely. And if you would like to get in next in the Rowdy Energy Cup Series, you're going to want to reach out to Jason Papp, P-A-P-P, on the iRacing servers, and just shoot him a private message and say, hey, what do I need to do to join? As they are getting ready to gear up for the next season. That'll be starting sometime after the first of the year. As it has been a tumultuous season so far. These guys are probably going to do some fun runs and some recruitment races over the holiday break. But if you do want to get involved, all you got to do is just reach out to Jason and say, "Hey, I want in."
Yeah, man, these are good dudes. Like it's hard
absolutely.
to find good dudes on the service, dudes and ladies.
Absolutely.
Not saying anything about the ladies are out there, but a good group, I should say.
A little bit of a wiggle for Marconi as we are going to be popsicle sticks in the air. 2 miles left to go. Brandon Lowe's with a 3/4 of a second lead over Greg Marconi. Time running out. All Lowe's has to do. Yeah, go ahead.
You see how quick that start finish line comes up at a 4. Get ready, because it's one more time.
Absolutely. As they come down the hallway to finish the penultimate lap, into 3 they go. Marconi not able to gain. Has he burned up all the goody? Just full send it mode, trying to get the drive off of 4. Does gain a little bit, but it might be too little too late. Brandon Lowe's through 1 and 2 for the final time tonight. And you can see the line that Lowe's is running. He's able to get a great drive off of 2. Able to stretch the lead just ever so slightly into 3 for the final time. Oh, Canada, your champion for the 2021 Rowdy Energy Cup Series, Brandon Lowe's.
Brandon Lowe's in that 2500cars.com is going to take it down to win and crown himself a champion here in the iRacing East Series Rowdy Energy Cup. Congratulations goes out to Brandon Lowe's.
Greg Marconi coming up 3 car lengths short, as gives Lowe's a congratulatory thumbs up as Lowe's gets ready to burn them down. Well-deserved donuts. And Lowe's just got to be ecstatic right now, as coming into last week's race in the round of 8, he was in 8th place. He had to win last week to get in, put on a clinic at Martinsville, put on a clinic here tonight at Phoenix. Your champion, Brandon Lowe's, congratulations. Marconi hanging on for 2nd, Cherry for 3rd, Nick Wing coming home in 4th on track, J.D. Woodward 4th in the championship, coming home in 5th tonight. Ryan Decker, Ernie Ludwig, Mark Mcfadden, Jason Papp, Shane Newens rounding out your top 10. And Zishan Dura, the first one to put it on the hauler tonight, coming home in 11th place on track.
Yeah, Brandon Lowe's, we talked about him being up 6 spots, like you said, from 8th with the results at Martinsville. And just coming in with that momentum and carrying it all the way through here till the finish at Phoenix, crowning himself a champion. The 25 of Brandon Lowe's from Niagara Falls, Canada. He has done it. crown a champion.
Absolutely. As just an amazing drive. And hopefully we can get JD Woodward into the Discord server here tonight. And unfortunately, I'm not seeing him yet, so we will give some time. We will give him a little bit of time to get in here right now, as they are getting a Final Four picture there on the Final Four picture. As we are going to let them do that, and then we are going to reach out to all four of our championship four, as well as Chief Cook and Bottle Washer for the iRacing East Series, Mr. Jason Papp, to get his final thoughts on the season. But Cliff, I don't know about you, but I can't wait any longer. We are going to reach out to the man from Niagara Falls who just came home with the championship. Congratulations, Brandon Lowe's. You are the 2021 Rowdy Energy Cup champion.
I can't believe it, man. We had to dig deep for this one. Greg, JD, Javon kept us honest the whole race. Tire strategy or pit strategy was huge, and um, everything was just, it was so intense the whole race, and somehow we pulled it off. Had the restart of my life, and just did the best I could to hold off Greg and Javon.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the pit strategy. Coming out of that first round of green flag pit stops, you had about a 3-second gap over your teammate who was running in second at the time. Marconi was 13 and a half seconds back after his pit stop. So I dare say that the undercut was a huge benefactor tonight.
Yeah, honestly, that first run, like, I was keeping up with Greg pretty well, and I was like, okay, this is good. Like, I felt like, at first I thought he was running his tires off. The clean air was just so huge tonight, and it would just help the tires so well. And I went into turn 3, like right before I pit. I went into turn 3, and the right front tire just felt completely dead. And I was like, "Yep, we are pitting this lap. Otherwise, I'm going to go and hit the wall." Like the tire, I came in, the tire was at like 2%. So it was definitely about to go down.
Wow.
Yeah, it was not good, dude. It was not good.
I have never seen those numbers. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, well, I think Greg also on that run, because he stayed out so much longer, he actually blew the tire. Yeah, so that's why he lost that much time. Like he lost, like he was gonna lose a bunch of time because he stayed out longer. And honestly, I figured he'd gain it back a lot quicker than they did. But yeah, he blew his right front tire, and it cost him even more time. And that's how Javon and I got out ahead so far. And I think I actually slid through my box on that stop. It was not
so
easy.
Slightly.
It was not easy tonight.
Well, Brandon, Cliff and I were talking in the closing laps. Coming into last week, you were in a do or die situation at Martinsville. You were 8th in points going into last week. You had to win to get in.
I actually had won Texas, so I was.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
Yeah.
I do apologize.
That's okay. No worries. Yeah, we had won Texas, but I mean, still, honestly, Martinsville was huge because it's the same package as this track. And you're using brakes there, you're using brakes here, so that race, honestly, it was huge, and we had a good car there. But again, JD and Connor and Greg were quick there as well, so this was not easy at all by any means. It just a lot of hard work went into tonight.
Well, a lot of work went into the season, as this was your 6th victory this season in 18 starts. So 1 out of every 3 races you have entered, you have won this season. So congratulations on that percentage. But, Brandon, we're going to give the floor to you. Great season. Who do you need to thank? The floor is yours, sir.
I appreciate it. First off, I gotta give a shout out to my best friend and good teammate, Javon Cherry. He has made me nothing but a better driver over the years. We've known each other, played racing games since 2009 on NASCAR 9. So he and I, we just make each other better. So big thanks goes out to him. He was fast tonight. I know this isn't his favorite track, but he gave it his all. Thanks to my family, all my friends. I know I had a few friends watching on the broadcast, so thanks to all them. Thank you to you guys for broadcasting our our races the whole year. You guys do an amazing job. Thank you to Greg and Jason for putting this league on, because without them, none of it would happen. And then thank you to Circle B Diecast, Rowdy Energy, iRacing iFlag, Butt Kicker, and Midwest Motor Customs for sponsoring the league. And then I had Hendrick Cars and Red Bull on the car for the whole season, and it's just been a crazy season, and I can't thank everyone enough. And thanks to all the other competitors for having a super clean race tonight. Only one caution, so it was a great race, and I can't wait for next season.
Absolutely. And we do have a couple congratulations to young ladies watching in the chat right now. Miss Caitlin and Miss Sally, both congratulating you on the victory. Sally Hammond saying, nice to see a fellow Canuck win. Congratulations.
Well, thank you
But
to them.
But again, Brandon, congratulations on your championship. Looking forward to seeing what you can do moving forward next season. Hopefully, we're going to see you back. Best of luck to you then.
Absolutely, I'll definitely be back. I love racing with these guys, and I'm super excited to get to the new season. So thank you guys so much for everything this season.
Your champion, Brandon Lowe's. Congratulations on the championship.
Thanks.
And that was our champion. And Cliff, I believe you have the man that came up about 500 yards short with you now.
500 yards short. The only Ford to finish in the top 4 for this championship. Greg Marconi, league commissioner. How does it feel to come out here and run in the front most of the race, finishing second here, runner up to the champion Brandon Lowe's? Overall, I'd say great success of a season. And as far as the league is concerned, heck of a show. How does it feel to you?
Little bummed. Can't deny I'm definitely a little bit bummed out. I missed a shift on that last restart, and that killed me there. And that just put me behind Cherry, and I just had to fight my way around after that. I was really hoping that last caution was not going to come out. I was gaining on those guys pretty quick. I knew I had a great long run car. I was able to hold the tires on better than a lot of people were. But no, Lowe's, he earned that, man. All in all for me, 5 wins on the season. You can't be disappointed with that, especially with the level of competition in this group. So I'm very happy with that. P2, better than I did last year. I knew coming into tonight it was either going to be win or you had to win if you were going to win the title. That's all it was. You had to go out and win it, so that's why I gave it everything I had. Just messed up that last restart a little bit, and having to get around Cherry, I burned my right front up more than I wanted to, and I just couldn't get back to Lowe's. He held a great gap, put on a great race, and he earned this title, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we knew coming into this thing that you were gonna have to probably win this race to win the championship. It was that close up front. And you were leading early on. You were the leader coming into the first pit stops. Everyone kind of pitted before you. Were you just trying to stick to your strategy early on and just kind of see how the race played out, or was there something deeper there? We're kind of interested. The first pit stop race, which kind of in long run kind of sealed the deal for you. What were you thinking early on? Were you thinking there was going to be more cautions, or play out the way you thought it would?
It honestly played out a lot like I thought it would. When we came in and saw like 10 or 11 guys, I knew we were most likely going to be running green for a good chunk of this race. I thought we would have the caution early, and then that would let me play a little different fuel strategy later on. But I was shocked when Jason, like 20, 30 laps in, said, "Hey, I just blew my right front." So that I knew fuel wise we were good to go halfway. I think we could have made like 82 to 85 laps. So I knew fuel wise I was good. And then as soon as I started seeing more guys pitting around like lap 40 or so, my thought was if I can run this thing out as long as I can, if they can only go 40, that means they've got to make 2 more stops. If I can make it to, 60, I got a shot to make it on 1. Or, well, 2 stops total versus their 3 that they would have to do. And then right at like lap 60 to 61, blew my right front, like right as I was passing pit road entrance, so I couldn't get my way in. So I had to go around one more time, and that killed me when it came to having to fight Lowe's, and that gave him such a huge lead there. But after pitting, I was able to run him back down. I got within, 3 or 4 seconds of him. I pitted right around where I knew I wanted to, knowing that I could go about 60 laps. I said if I can come in around lap 110 or so, I know I can make it to the end and be fine. I saw those guys make it past 105, so I knew they were on worse tires than I was. So if I short pit them, I had a better shot, and that's exactly what I did. I was able to get in early, beat them by a lap, and it got me about 2.5 seconds on them when I came out, and then just had that caution, and I needed that little bit more. I almost had him, but no, Lowe's said he was saving tires. I knew I was still gaining on him, and it just that caution was fine because I knew we still had a long run, but missing that shift on the start is kind of what sealed my fate.
Yeah, missing a shift will get you every single time. Well, Greg, I thank you for your time. Congrats again to P2 and, finishing second on the season for the championship. Brandon Lowe's had that momentum. It was hard to beat him. But overall, a great season. We thank you for having ESPN on, and hopefully we can move forward to next season and see what happens then. But we will definitely get to Jovan Cherry here in just a moment. Greg, have anyone you want to give a huge shout out to before we let you go back and celebrate?
First off, I'm going to thank the wife that I know is watching the baby tonight. I'm going to thank the family that I know is watching. They're a huge supporter for me, and I couldn't do this every night without without their support, and most especially Sydney, the wife, watching the baby right now. Her making that sacrifice to watch her allows me to go out and race this, have fun. I got to thank our league sponsors, Rowdy Energy, primary sponsor for this league on Mondays, Circle B Diecast, our Friday sponsor, iRacing, iFlag, Butt Kicker, Midwest Motor Customs, which I had on the car tonight. I'm ecstatic that I get to kind of put my brand up there, up front all night. Took it home P2, and especially you guys. You guys do a great job. We love having you. You guys put on a fantastic broadcast week in, week out. Even with the limited number of guys that we have here, you guys always make a fantastic show.
Tony.
Yeah, it's both of you, man. Both you guys do a fantastic job. And then, of course, I got to thank Jason. Jason does so much for this league. He's the head admin. I just show up and help distribute penalties where needed and keep things in line. But no, Jason puts his blood, sweat, and tears into this league, and I'm glad that we can go out there and, kind of help him get his money's worth. And, hopefully next season we get some more guys consistently with us, and we can, keep putting on better and better shows.
Well, speaking of Jason, if you do catch him soon, let him know we were hoping to talk to him. after we get Jovan Cherry in here.
Sounds good. I'm gonna send him a text right now and I'll let him know. But thanks again, guys. You guys do a great job, and now we relax and let's get on to next year.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we can't
And
do
Greg,
it without you.
go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, I was going to say, Greg, don't go too far, because if we can't get Jason back in here, we are going to need you to put your league commissioner hat on, and we do want some final thoughts on the series and on the season from you, in lieu of Jason being able to get back on in time.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll hang around. I shot him a text, so we'll see what he says.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
So that was our runner-up in the point standings and runner-up in the race. Rounding out our podium in both as well, driver of the number 48, winningest driver on the season, just coming up just a tick short here in the final race. Jovan Cherry, all things considered, you can't be too disappointed in this season.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like you said, most winningest driver on the season, that says a statement there. But I mean, when you look at it, it really doesn't matter when it comes down to the final race, because all that goes out the window. So I mean, there's not really much, too much to show for the season besides 8 wins. But then to not even finish top 2 on the night, not even lead a lap. I mean, it's just a combination of just poor track, poor car, just not a favorite of either, and only having one shot to do it, there's just not much more that could be done there.
Well, talk us through what did happen on your qualifying attempt, as we saw you had to abort both of them.
Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. I just went into the corner like I normally do, and then it just got a lot tighter than it normally did. So I think a lot of that had to do more with me wanting to get back to the throttle a lot earlier. Like I said, it's not by any means not a favorite track of mine at all. So just trying to do what I thought I was doing in practice, and it didn't work. I was getting a little loose on entry, trying to back up corners, but when it came down to it, there was just nothing I could do there. It just was a lot tighter than I thought it was going to be.
Well, Jovan, you were the biggest mover here tonight, up 4 spots from where you started this piece. But talk us through just how difficult it was to work your way through traffic, as we saw you get hung up a couple times with the lap cars.
Yeah, I mean, these things just, when you get caught behind somebody, I mean, they push. Dirty air is probably one of the biggest things, here. And it pretty much showed tonight, watching Greg be able to be out in the lead and him run away with it. Him catching Brandon at the end and not being able to make a pass. Anytime you're just behind somebody, you were going to be even tighter than before. On top of that, it's only a 2-lane racetrack. If you can't get up off the bottom underneath somebody and use the rest of the track, there's not much you're going to be able to really do unless you send it. So the car just got progressively tighter over the run. There wasn't really much you could do to burn off the right rear to make it rotate. So everybody was going to face the same condition. And then at that point, all you have to do is just park your car, and no one's going to really be able to get by you unless it's early on in a run. So just really unfortunate. I think the racing would have been a lot better had we had a car that you actually had to hustle and can burn off more than just one tire. I know throughout that run, Brandon had like 5% on his right front. Greg blew his right front, and then the right rear sitting at 80, 90. So it's just really unfortunate that this had to happen. But I mean, what are you going to do besides just race it? So.
Well, Jovan, you had an amazing season. A catalog of work that you should really be proud of. The fact that you survived, you won. You won when you needed to during these playoffs, and you got yourself into a situation that not a lot of other drivers can say, and you were competing for a championship here tonight. Yes, you didn't come home with the championship, but all things considered, your good friend did, and your entire team over at Dog Racing should be very proud of the catalog of work that you guys put in this season.
Yeah, I mean, definitely happy that Brandon won the championship. If there's anybody else I wanted to lose to, I'm glad it was him. you know, we like you said, we did have a great season. You know, being able to go out and put on great performance week after week in the regular season, you know, it did mean something. You know, it gave us a lot of confidence going into these races. The problem is, you know, we knew Phoenix was going to be, you know, a track we always struggle with because it's just, you know, it's flat and we don't like it, plain and simple. And then on top of that, we're driving the car that we're not really a big fan of either. But you know, we made that work throughout the regular season. It really gave us a confidence boost going into this final race. But it just didn't play out the way we wanted to. So I know the team's happy. You know, I know they would probably be happier if we won the championship, but I know they're happy that Brandon won it at least too. So just really big congrats to him, driving his butt off to get it out there.
Absolutely. And I mean, let's call it like we see it. In a 36 race season, between you and Brandon, you account for 14 wins. That's nothing short of amazing.
That's almost half.
Yes, just shy of half the wins on the season were between the two of you. So definitely something that you guys are putting everybody on notice that you are going to be the team to beat again next season, carrying that momentum into the 2022 season. Safe to assume that both of you are going to be back as much as you can.
Yeah, you know, I think it's, you know, I've said it multiple times. I guess I'll say it one last time to end the 2021 season. We don't like this car. You know, the car has too much downforce. There's not a lot of hustling the car, you know. Well, I think the best race we had was Atlanta. You know, that was probably our best race where we actually had to drive the car. But I mean, other than that, these are a good group of guys. You know, we had fun, you know, racing these guys all season. They really put on good races. You know, they all drive their heart out. So I think, you know, in that aspect alone, regardless of the car, yeah, we'll definitely be coming back. Um, but more than likely, you know, this is going to be the car, so we'll just have to deal with it. So, I mean, you guys broadcasting the races, I know you guys had a good time watching all of these amazing races that we put on, regardless of the participation amount. So, I just can't say enough about all the guys that we raced with and how much fun they were to race around.
Well, the good news is hopefully by the second quarter of 2020 or 2022, we should see some aero and handling package updates for this car as it does debut in the real world in February. So I would expect iRacing to release some updates as the season wears on next year to try to make the racing better with this car. But Javon, who do you need to thank before we let you go celebrate with your team?
I'm gonna, well, I guess for the final time in 2021, you know, I'm gonna thank all our sponsors: Circle B Diecast, Rowdy Energy, iRacing, iFlag, Butt Kicker, Midwest Motor Customs. Thank you guys for staying with us throughout the whole season. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys up in the booth. You know, I can't name all the announcers we had this season, but you know, I had a good time talking with each and every one of you throughout
That's
the whole
okay.
season. So that was really nice. Thank Brandon. Man, you know, he really helped us out throughout the season, you know. We had a good time racing him. Like I say, congrats to him on the championship. If there's anybody that I'm glad we lost to, I'm glad it was him. Great job, Greg and JD, two other competitors. Even Connor, he would have been a nice guy to race against. They put on a great show at Martinsville last week, so good for them. And you know, just thanks to everybody that came out and watched, all the fans. You know, I know they had a good time watching this season, but hopefully next year we'll be back and hopefully we'll actually be able to get it done.
Absolutely. And again, Javon, congratulations on the season, and we look forward to seeing you in 2022.
Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next year.
So that was our third place finisher in the point standings. And we are now going to reach back out to the man who just put on his administrative cap after his taking off his racing helmet. Greg Marconi, final thoughts as the 2021 Rowdy Energy Cup Series comes to an end, looking forward into 2022.
So, all in all, I think it was a great season. Certainly this year we had a lot of great competition between all the drivers. I know we did make the change halfway through the year between the current Cup car and the next gen car, and I think I don't know. I like the move that we made. I think we made the right choice to do it because we were struggling with, in all honesty, keeping the series interesting and keeping everything working real well. So I like that. I like the move we did. I think it brought in a lot of great competition. Um, the one thing that I wish with this league is that we had a higher head count week in, week out. That's kind of the only thing. Other than that, to the guys that were here, they did a fantastic job. Cherry, Lowe's, JD, Connor, all those guys we put on heck of a show every week. Even the guys, Mark Mcfadden, Wing, Shane Newens, Jason Papp, all those guys, Decker, the guys that were here week in, week out. I can't thank them enough for all the work that they did, showing up every week, putting on fantastic races, and that all in all, I'm happy with the season. I think everything went really, really well.
And moving forward, it's going to be the next gen car next season as well to at least start the season. Hopefully, iRacing gives us those much needed aero and handling package upgrades for this car. Correct?
That's the hope. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know probably early on in the year it's going to be interesting with the as iRacing figures out everything with the aero package, especially at super speedways. Hopefully we're going to be able to get second lines going at super speedways to make things a lot more interesting. But yeah, the plan going forward is next season we're going to be running these cars. The format going forward, we've got a couple ideas, bouncing a few things around. We know a 36 race season is extremely long and a huge commitment for folks. So we got a couple ideas, either to make it more interesting. Maybe we split the season in two. But we'll figure all that out in the off season. We'll be hosting some recruitment races. So anybody that's watching, if you want to come out and race with us every week, we'll be doing a ton of recruitment races, probably starting up here in a few weeks, and then go into next season and let's go have some more fun.
Fun.
All right. Absolutely. Sounds like a game plan, Greg. And thank you for joining us again. Thank you for having us broadcast the series. I know Cliff and I have both had fun up here in the booth ever since he came on board. I know that you guys have been a staple on ESPN for a couple of seasons now. And I think I speak for the entire company when I say that, we are happy with the partnership that we've been able to maintain with the iRacing East Series as a whole, and moving forward, looking forward to working with you guys in the future.
Absolutely, Tony, Cliff, man, you guys do a great job. We've been with ESPN now, both in the Friday and Monday for 2 years?
Two full years, yeah.
And this partnership that we've had has been fantastic. You guys being able to bring us onto the portal is huge for us. It's huge publicity for us, and I'm glad that we can put on good enough racing to to really help you guys out and show your talents too, not just the talents of the drivers here, but show the skill set that you, Cliff, James, all the guys at ESPN bring to the table. And I can't myself. I hope Jason echoes the same things I'm saying, but myself, I can't thank you guys enough for what you've done with this league, and giving us all the ability to feel like celebrities out there whenever we take to the track.
I'll throw my 2 cents in there, and I just thank you as well. First of all, I want to thank Sam and Frank, who have been a big part of your league, who are not here at the moment. Frank had some radio stuff that he fell into and is awesome. He got on the radio. Frank was a huge part of your league. Sam as well, from the ESPN side. I myself have only been in here for 5 races now, and
6.
But the 6 races, and the important ones, you know, coming in at the end of your season and being a part of your playoffs was awesome. It was huge. Next gen cars threw a wrench in the spokes, and I think it was a good one. I think it really, you know, had this awesome dynamic in your season in your league. I'm glad to be a part of it. Someone threw the word fun out there earlier, and I think that's really the highlight of the whole ordeal. We all had fun here, and I really enjoyed myself. And I really thank you, Greg. And I wish Jason Papp could have joined, but he couldn't in that one car. He was a big part of it as well. I had fun, and I'm thankful that you guys were able to be very flexible with ESPN and work through this transition. And I was really, at least I'm really happy to be a part of it, and I thank you.
Absolutely, man. And Cliff, once again, we appreciate everything. And you know, if Sam and Frank are watching, you know, they were a huge part of us the last year and a half before other conflicts came in. But you know, it was always fun having them in the booth. Um, so you know, anybody else that we may have missed, the whole ESPN family, you guys have done fantastic. We thank you all again, and let's go on and see what 2022 has in store for us.
Absolutely, Greg. You know, and I think you guys both hit the nail on the head right there. And that was, you know, you guys put on great action on the track, which made our jobs up here in the booth easier. Even with the short fields we've had the last couple of weeks, you guys still put on a show. You know, there were pockets of racing that we had chances to talk about. It was a chess match at 200 miles an hour, week in and week out, and you know, the action that you guys were able to put on track, the hard racing, the clean racing, the respectful racing, you know, and that's what really made these broadcasts work. So thank you to the entire league for you know, putting on the amazing action that you guys have put on, and we'll see you back in Daytona in 2022.
Yeah, I echo everything you say. The guys in this league do fantastic, man. Can't wait to see what next year brings for us.
All right, Greg, thanks again for joining us, and good luck in 2022.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
So, Cliff, I think that about covers everything that we really need to cover. Season coming to an end. I know you were tail end of it, but you know, you're in for a treat when we get those 42 car fields at the beginning of the season when we go to Daytona in February. I don't know about you, but I'm looking very much forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys are gonna start another season, and we all know watching this stuff. You know, here we are we've got what 11 drivers here tonight for the final race. Things kind of dwindle down when it comes to championships and playoffs, and that's understandable. It happens. You get 43 cars in the beginning of the field, or I'm sorry, the beginning of the season. It really dwindles down as you get to the end, but that's expected. And I know that when we come back around next year for this next season with the Rowdy Energy Cup Series, I know we're gonna have full fields. I'm super looking forward to it as I joined in the tail end of this whole deal. Tony, you've been here from the beginning of ESPN, and you're here for every single night of racing, which I tip my hat to you because you are a special individual. But for the Rowdy Energy
My man
Cup
says I'm
Series,
special.
for the Rowdy Energy Cup Series, and Greg Marconi, Jason Papp, and the whole admin team over there, I thank you all for watching for an entire season of what has probably been exciting racing all season. I joined here for the last 6 races, and I have enjoyed myself every minute, every race. But you know, Tony, I would love you to take it away and give us your full whole wrap up of the end of the season and what you've seen this entire season long.
Well, I think you and Greg hit the nail on the head when they made that switch over to the next gen car when it came out. It really did throw a monkey wrench into the works, and it really it changed the dynamic of what we saw on track. Because people have had the Gen 6 car that we've been running for the last handful of seasons, which we started this season with. People knew what that car was going to do. They knew exactly, okay, if I do this to the brake bias, it's going to do this to the car. If I, you know, if I just touch the wall like this, it'll help or hurt me this much. If I lean on somebody like this and cave in my fender, it'll do this to the car. Whereas with this new car with the composite body and the independent rear suspension, the sequential gearbox, in adding a fifth gear to the gearbox, the tires changing, the sidewall. The fact that it's a 17-inch wheel instead of a 15-inch wheel, the fact that it's a single lug nut as opposed to 5. It really it changed the way that these drivers had to attack the tracks this season. Now, did we see great action? Yeah, for the most part. We saw some great action. Were there limitations to this car? Absolutely. But that's something that iRacing is going to work on because and it's something that everybody had to deal with. But it's something that iRacing is going to work on. As this car debuts in the real world in February, it's going to take them a couple weeks to recode. What is the super speedway aero package actually going to do? What's it going to look like in a wind tunnel? What what engine package is going to be in here for the super speedways? What type of handling package are we looking for on the short tracks, on the intermediate tracks, on the your non-play tracks, like your 2-mile tracks? There's a lot of changes that are going to happen very rapidly at the beginning of 2022. So, you heard Greg say that there, as of right now, the game plan is to stay with this car and kind of see what happens, and then they're going to make a decision, after a handful of races as to what they're going to do with the series. As far as, are they going to go back to the Gen 6? Are they going to stay with the next gen? And you heard him say that there's a couple different things they're planning on doing with the points fund, as far as are they going to break the season up? Are they going to do like what they do over across the pond over in Europe and do like a summer break for a couple of weeks to give people a chance to spend time with their families and kind of recoup themselves, and take a week or two off to try to let everybody recharge. But there's still a lot of things up in the air. But the biggest takeaway is the fact that they are still looking for drivers. So if you want to get involved with a great group of drivers week in and week out, that it's hard competition, but it's clean competition, and that's really what most people look for when they look for in a league. And the iRacing E Series, you're gonna see some of the best clean driving week in and week out of any league in the iRacing servers. So if you want to get involved, just keep your eyes posted for their recruitment races, or reach out to Jason Papp on the iRacing servers. Send him a private message and say, hey, what do I need to do? And he'll get you set up as far as pointing you in the right direction of how to get involved for the 2022 Rowdy Energy Cup Series.
Yeah, well
So,
said, Tony. Hopefully we can call your name next season, in victory lane on that top 3 in the podium, or come to the end of the season when we crown a champion. You never know. You never know if you don't
absolutely.
try. So reach out. Tony, why don't you take us through the next week of racing we got here on ESPN? We will call it a night.
Absolutely. going on right now is the Maestros Classic ARCA series, week number 4 from Watkins Glen. They are in the closing laps of that one. Tomorrow, we've got a triple header for you. The matinee race is going to be the UK Sim Racing MX5 Pro Series, week number 9 from Daytona on the road course. That is a 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time start. The second race tomorrow evening will be the Ricmotech High Performance Energy Sim Racing Equipment Truck Series from the Nashville Super Speedway. That is an 8:55 start. And the nightcap is going to be the Western States Racing League Round 17 from Bristol. That is a 10:05 Eastern start. We got a doubleheader on Wednesday for you with the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series round number 13. That is going to be on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 8:15 start for that one. Pony Express Sim Racing Endurance for Amateurs. They are going to be round number 9 from Brands Hatch. That's an 8:25 Eastern Time start. Thursday night, we have the Old Dirty Bastards, round number 10 of their dirt night. 410 sprint cars are going to be at USA, with the Big Block Modifieds closing out the night at Williams Grove. And that is a 9 p.m. start time for that one. And then the first race of the round of 8 for the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series, that is going to be Friday night with an 8:20 Eastern Time start on that one. Xfinity cars at Daytona, again, first race of the round of 8. So they are in deep into their playoffs right now, and still a lot left to race for there.
So much racing on ESPN.
Absolutely. And then we are back Sunday afternoon at, I believe it is, yes. We are back on Friday afternoon or Sunday afternoon at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That is going to be the ISNF Cup Series, and they are going to be at the Miracle Mile up in Loudon, New Hampshire. So you definitely don't want to miss any of the action. So if you haven't done so already, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, share, and turn on bell notifications. That will give you an update on your phone to let you know, hey, these guys are going live with their next race. And I mean, every race that we cover, they put on amazing action week in and week out. And Cliff, before we close out the Rowdy Energy Cup Series final broadcast for 2021, I do want to thank you for coming on board and giving the great camera views that you have given us week in and week out. Again, I got to thank my former broadcast partner, Frank Marchese. Congratulations on getting back into the industry that you love so much with the radio broadcasts. My Friday night former partner, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett, the man who helped me start ESPN, he's spending time with his beautiful and lovely girlfriend and her child. So spending a lot of family time doing the future stepdad thing. At least that's what it kind of appears. That's the direction that they are heading. So congratulations to him. Moving forward in future endeavors, you guys will have a home if you decide to come back and work for ESPN whenever time allots. Looking forward to seeing you guys on track. But Cliff, again, thank you. Thanks, James. Thanks to John for coming on board and continuing the partnerships that we have culminated over the years with ESPN. And it's an amazing partnership between SRN and ESPN now, as we join into one big happy family. Although we do put the funk and dysfunctional sometimes. It's been great working with you guys, and looking forward to what 2022 brings.
Yeah, man. I think the biggest part here is that we're all here just to enjoy ourselves and have fun. Sam and Frank, you guys, and you as well, Tony. You guys built a huge, awesome company with ESPN. We're glad to be a part of it. Racing media coming on board and joining our forces, and as we've shown here with Rowdy Cup Series we were able to kind of merge and become one. I'm happy. I had a lot of fun these 6 races. Got a lot of fun to go. Tony, you're a big part of it. ESPN, SRM moving forward proved to be a lot of fun. So again, thank you all for watching tonight. And Tony, I thank you for being the biggest part of our productions here at SRM and ESPN. And we definitely could not have made this merger work without you.
Well, I appreciate that, Cliff, but I believe that's going to about do it for us tonight as we do bring the Rowdy Energy Cup Series to a close. For Mr. Cliff Corvo, for everybody that has helped in the production truck all season long, this is Tony Trapasso reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down that road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.